Welcome back, everybody, to the Fantasy Hockey Hacks podcast, the official podcast of Left Wing Lock, your number one source for fantasy hockey intelligence, and a proud partner of the Hockey Podcast Network. I'm Devin Davidson, your host. With me, as always, Bruce Gunther, John Enns, and Tyler Holman. We were, of course, just chirping each other before we got on the air. I wanted to get this recorded because we got some good stuff here. Where do you want to start? Bruce, you want to chirp John? Tyler, do you want to talk about your terrible week? Where do you want to go with this?
I get to chirp both of them because I actually beat both of them this week.
Oh, shut it.
2 different leagues.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bruce.
The other one,
your turn to talk
the other
some
one's
shit.
not. The other one's not in playoffs yet, so I didn't even pay attention to that one. If we're all being honest, so
Oh, look at this guy go! Just a cop out.
In Chewbacca,
take the win,
or in,
Bruce. Take the
yeah.
win.
I had my stats before the playoffs start, I guess. So, but I beat John, so I'm happy.
Let's start there. So FHHL, you two took each other on this week, first week of playoffs for that league. What was the end score there, guys?
It's 413.3 to 353.3 presently.
It's been a bad week.
Bad week.
Spanked him.
But there's still a couple of games in progress, but not enough to alter the ending.
Yeah, I don't think Jack Hughes or Landeskog would have saved me this week.
Well, considering
Wouldn't hurt.
Hughes isn't playing, so it won't help a lot.
If they were playing and healthy, yeah, like that would have helped. But
Yeah.
well, John, sorry, bud. Better luck next year.
I love golfing.
You had a
Hey,
good
Tyler
run.
too.
Yeah, I'm going golfing too. This is baloney. I just can't even believe Taylor of all people.
Actually,
Yep.
it's snowing outside here, so maybe I won't.
That is true.
I don't even think Taylor knows it's the playoffs.
I would almost guarantee he doesn't know.
Yeah. He's probably walking around his farm in circles, has no idea what it is, and is like, oh, I probably should set my lineups once and end up beating me. It's the worst.
And by like 15 points too. Oh, Tyler, that's rough. If it makes you feel any better, I think my team spit the bit in Yahoo this week.
Yeah,
That
mine
sucks.
too.
Looks like I'm going to lose 9-4 in the semifinal.
Oh, I got
So-
curb stomped.
I don't feel any better. Thank you, though.
I tried, man. I tried. You know what? On a nicer note, your hat looks great. That's a really nice hat, Tyler.
It is a nice hat.
Thank you.
Jason.
Jordan was making fun of me so much for my Yankees hat, I had to get this one. So
Yankees
So
hat's
probably
better
the
than
only-
Jay's hat.
I know, it's a classic look. Goes with everything. This is so blue. It doesn't go with anything. But that's fine. I'll wear it once
That's fine.
today, and that's probably it.
Move on from there. Okay. I got nothing else in terms of our fantasy leagues here anyway. Except I might hit 500 points. Probably not. But I had a lot of
Nobody
shifts.
cares.
I had a lot of shifts
Next.
this week.
Lots of
Yeah,
shifts.
Max probably.
Okay, episode 57, NHL Week 26 waiver wire picks and preview. We're getting into it. There's only a couple weeks left here. I guess one thing I wanted to mention, just as we're getting into the show, we're probably going to change up the format a little bit post regular season, just given that we talk about season long fantasy hockey and the season's gonna be over soon. So we're gonna switch it up, talk about some DFS stuff, probably bring on some guests. We'll talk about maybe some strategy stuff, and things will just change up a little bit in the off season, and then we got lots of exciting things coming. But just to let our listeners know, and also I think we're going to be recording on different nights, which means the podcast will start coming out on a different day. We're still determining the schedules here, Bruce. I think for you, Sunday nights aren't going to work in the summer, correct?
Yeah, I'm playing ball this summer on Sunday nights, so it'll be a little
Okay.
rough for me to get back in time to record by 8.
Yeah. So no worries there. And I mean, just because now that we're not doing, the fantasy season's going to be over soon, it's a little less crucial that we have this thing released on Monday mornings. So anyway, stay tuned. We're going to change up the release date just so our listeners know. And with that, John, did I stall long enough to let you fill out John's list?
I gotta pull up the show notes.
So no,
Yes.
we haven't
Sorry.
spent enough time yet.
Should I go on further? We can talk about the Oilers first if you want.
No. I'm
You're
just
ready?
going with my fallback. My fallback was going to be Cam Talbot.
Cam Talbot's on the list this week?
Cam Talbot's on the list.
Okay, why?
Because I've never liked him. And when he was with the Oilers, he sucked.
Not even in 17 when he crushed it?
Don't care.
Huh.
Nope. He's still trash.
Huh.
And the fact that he is playing well now in Minnesota just bothers me. It's supposed to be Fleury's net. I don't care what he says.
Oh, this is a Fleury issue. Okay. It's all becoming clear.
No, it's like a compounding thing where I didn't like him before and I still don't like him.
And now your boy's he's riding the pine quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I'll agree. I don't understand the logic there. You trade for the guy and then you sit him quite often.
They've been splitting starts 50-50.
Interesting. I guess Talbot's been playing so well. How can you not play him, right? So
Yeah.
But he's still trash.
Okay. I got nothing else to add to that. Tyler, you look like you're deep in thought there.
No, not really. I'm just gonna move past it.
Don't strain yourself.
I think honorable mention for you, John, should be Toronto media with Matthews getting his 50 and 50, even though it's game 67 and not actually the 50th game of the year.
Yeah, that too. That's dumb.
That's fine.
That's probably.
And also Lazy Leon's stupid shootout last night.
Yeah,
that was stupid.
I will agree. If he would have scored, we would have been talking about it.
I'd still talk about it.
It looked like he didn't know what to do, so he just like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and it didn't work.
It looked to me
Especially
like
Kemper.
Leon and Connor were both gassed.
Yeah.
They like Connor just looked exhausted going in for the shootout. I just thought he had nothing left, and Leon kind of looked the same way to me.
Yeah, and Kemper was on. Like,
yeah,
it looked like he knew what everybody was gonna do. Like even Nuge, he would normally go backhand, forehand, and just inside the post, and he read it the whole
Kemper
way.
knew.
So.
Oh yeah. Okay. So before we move on to fantasy lock of the week, let's talk about the Oilers game a little bit. I don't think any of us are disappointed with the result. Like obviously you want the win, but I mean a 2-1 loss in a shootout to the Avs, that's pretty incredible, really.
Yeah, I think the only thing I'd say too is that they were like second of back-to-back. They played in Winnipeg. Winnipeg doesn't have an airport. We've used that excuse before. So there's that. But, I mean, they did put up 50 shots against the best team in the league. So it was good. I would have preferred if they were able to keep that one out there, but
yeah,
it was a good game to watch. It was fun to watch too. So
yeah, it was. Nathan McKinnon is the bane of my existence.
Yeah,
that guy can fall in a hole somewhere. Anyway, good game. And they held the Avs to 0 shots in overtime. I know there was a 4-on-3 power play in there, but that's still pretty impressive.
It's very impressive, especially Colorado.
Yeah. So, what I'm hoping, and Bruce, you and I were talking about this earlier in the week, I'd love to see Nashville and Calgary in the first round and just beat the shit out of each other. Have Edmonton play LA and hopefully move on, and then have a Battle of Alberta in the second round.
That would be fantastic.
If the hockey gods are a thing, that will happen.
You're welcome.
Okay, so yeah, just going back to Tyler's comments about the Toronto media, and Tyler, I absolutely agree. However, we're going to segue here into our fantasy lock of the week, and this week it is Auston Matthews. Not because I'm a fan, because I'm trying to be objective, and he did put up 11 points this week, 7 goals, 33 shots on goal in 4 games. He also did set a Leafs franchise record for the most goals scored in a single season. He's 1 point shy right now, his first 100-point season, and 2 goals shy of 60, which would make him the first player since Steven Stamkos over a decade ago to put up 60 goals. So, am I a huge fan of Auston Matthews? No. Am I a fan of the Toronto Maple Leafs? Absolutely not. Do I hate the Toronto media? Absolutely. But Matthews put up a hell of a week, and so for me, fantasy lock of the week.
I can't wait to watch them lose to Boston in the first round.
Me too.
It's gonna be great.
Me too.
It's pretty good time.
Yeah, and I think we do have a fairly healthy contingent of Leafs fans as followers or as listeners to the show. So our apologies. We do shit on them
Good.
weekly.
Good.
They must just. I have no clue why they listen to us hate on them every week.
I was going to say, if you're still listening, God
I
bless
think they
you.
feed off of it. It's a thing. It's a real thing.
Probably.
It's like you tune in because you hate somebody. It's like the John Gormley show here in Saskatoon, right? Some people listen just because they hate the guy.
That's why I'm still on here.
Moving on here, honorable mentions. Robert Thomas, we talked about him last week here in the Fantasy Lock of the Week, but again, 8 points, 3 goals, 5 assists, 1 game winner. He actually had, oh God, I had it in my notes here somewhere. Multi-point games here, I think in
His last 2.
5 of 6 games. Yeah. He's been like just pumping out the points, and he had 4 games this week. So if you were lucky enough to have nabbed him earlier on in the week, I'm sure he helped you move on in your fantasy hockey playoffs this week. Does have 4 games next week as well. We're not going to formally mention him in the waiver wire ads, but definitely if he's in your league, you're still available, go grab him.
He would still qualify. I think he's still less than 50% owned.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about him again, but we've talked about him lots, right? I think we had him in the waiver wire ads last week or the week before as well. So he's crushing it. Go grab him. And then
you did not put this guy in here.
John, how could I not? How could I not? I'm at the risk of sounding like a giant homer. Mike Smith is my other honorable mention this week. I was going to put Huberdeau here, but I realized I had put him in here last week as well. So, I mean, Huberdeau got his first 100-point season, so good on him. He was almost going to be in here again, but Mike Smith. Holt, you could roast me in a second here, but first of all, he went 3-0 this week. He's the first goaltender in franchise history to sweep the California teams. 1.33 GAA and a 959 save percentage. And then that pass after making that save in overtime against the Sharks to Connor.
That was incredible.
That was fantastic. So love him or hate him. He's been excellent this week. And we're actually talking about the waiver wire ads here too, John. So
it was nice.
Remind me.
I was just
Sorry,
going to say.
I was just...
Look at us. Look at us. I'm going to go first.
Okay,
it was nice.
You go first.
It was nice that he actually passed the puck to one of Edmonton's players. Because that usually doesn't happen. So that was pretty cool.
You enjoyed that?
I'm done now, John. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just getting out. I was just about to take my headphones off and walk away for like 10 minutes, and might just do that in the waiver ads.
Okay. I know you don't like Smith. I know you don't like Koskinen. I'm well aware.
Well, if I could put them on the list every week, I would. But
I know. But hey, and again, Koskinen played pretty damn good last night too.
Oh yeah, I'll give him that. But yeah, no, Mike Smith's a knob. Sorry, man.
It's okay. Agree to disagree. That's what makes the show interesting, I guess. Bruce, any other input here on Mike Smith or any of the other ads?
Mike Smith
No,
from
I'm
Vesna.
Okay. We'll move on.
Oh wait, that's just Devin who says that.
Yeah. Hashtag. Well, it's usually Koskinen for Vesna, but we'll move on. Next segment here: headlines with the Hacks, news and injury updates for April 4th to the 10th. Our partner, Left Wing Lock, Mike, has a playoff probabilities tool, so you can go check out the odds for your favorite team and see if they're going to qualify for the postseason. We've included the link in our show notes. Go check that out. Last I looked, the Oilers had a 95% chance to make the playoffs. Looking pretty good there. And Vegas was down to like 35%. So, loving that.
Wowzers.
Hopefully it gets lower.
Can only hope. Fingers crossed. I guess before we get into headlines here, I just wanted to mention that I put up that post yesterday about Jordan's dad. So Jordan, shout out to you. Thanks again, buddy. But that's pretty cool. I think obviously just the fact that his dad loves the shirt was cool. I mean, he stole Jordan's shirt, which I think is hilarious. But the fact that he sent us a picture from Mexico is great. And then even better, the fact that he ran into somebody else from Canada in Mexico that recognized the shirt and said they listened to the show. So I think that's really cool.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
That was pretty sweet.
Yeah. So lots of good stuff. I'm loving doing this. I hope you guys are too. There's been lots of cool things here over the last year. Even though, yes, we are still hacks, Tyler. I get
it. Idiots.
Well, mostly just John, but yeah.
What?
Well, and me this week for losing to Taylor.
And me.
Yeah, you do get. Yeah,
Bruce, that doesn't matter. You don't matter this week.
Tyler looks like he's stressing out on that end there. He keeps like rubbing his little mustache there. It's gonna be like half gone by the time the show's over.
Easy to wear it off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost wiped it all the way off.
He's actually just filling it in. He's got some Just for Men there. He's coloring it in a little bit.
Trying to get rid of the gray.
Yeah, I got that problem too.
Embrace the gray.
Okay, totally off the rails there quickly, but let's move back on to headlines. Starting with NHL Stars of the Week for March 28th to April 3rd. Connor McDavid, 8 points, 5 goals, 3 assists in 4 games. Alexander Barkov, 8 points, 5 goals, 3 assists in 4 games. And Semyon Varlamov, 3-0 record with a 1.67 GAA and a 952 save percentage and 1 shutout. Kopitar and Tarasenko both reached the 60-point mark on Monday night. Robert Thomas is now up to 23 points in 13 games and still available in almost 50% of leagues. So, again, this is just your PSA. Go grab Robert Thomas. Ryan Getzlaf, John, just so you're aware. And now he will retire at the end of the season, so you're going to have to retire your Getzlaf jerseys.
Oh, them are fighting words, man. That'd be like a burning if I ever seen one there.
Brock Besser out indefinitely with an upper body injury, believed to be his arm. Bowen Byram returned to the Avalanche lineup Tuesday night. David Pastrnak missed Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday night's games with an injury. Sorry, Tyler. That's unfortunate. The Toronto Maple Leafs activated Jake Muzzin off LTIR. Jack Hughes is going to miss the rest of the season with an MCL sprain. We talked about that last week. I still love it. I still love it. Subban went over and clobbered him. Ryan Strome returned to the Rangers lineup on Tuesday night. Kyle Connor and Nate Schmidt returned to the Jets lineup on Wednesday. Doug Wilson stepped down as GM of the Sharks on Thursday. I thought that was odd. He's been around for so long. He's had a lot of success there. I thought he'd done a pretty good job, but looks like that team's in rebuild mode, right?
Yeah, well, he's been on medical leave since November, so if I had to venture, I guess I said most likely it's probably medical why he's stepping down.
Good point, Bruce. Roman Josi sets a Nashville Predators franchise record for points in a season with 87. He has a shot at 100 points on the year. Really quick, guys, right now, if you had to pick, it's Cale Makar or Roman Josi for the Norris. Who are you taking? Tyler, I know who you're taking, but Bruce, who would you take?
Roman Josi, no doubt.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, man, and you're the president of the Cale Makar fan club.
I am, but what Yossi's doing in Nashville is freaking incredible.
Okay.
Him and Forsberg have put that team on their shoulders, and they're basically powering that team through, right? Everybody's playing great, but those two are literally standing out from everyone. And yeah, if anyone out of those two, Yossi deserves it for sure.
John, you're nodding in approval?
100%.
Okay. And Tyler, you too? That's Roman Josi?
Yeah, I think so.
They wouldn't have 25 goals, eh?
Yeah, they wouldn't even be close to the playoffs without Yossi doing what he's doing.
There you go. Yeah, for the record, I think Yossi should get a shot at it too. All right, Auston Matthews scored 2 goals on Thursday, giving him 56 on the year, like we mentioned earlier. It was a big deal, guys. I'm not sure if you missed it. There might have been a post or two.
One or two,
Next.
anyway.
Yeah. Next, moving on. That's all I'm going to say about that. Bo Horvat reached the 30-goal plateau for the first time in his career and went 17 for 17 in the faceoff dot in that same game.
That's incredible.
I don't think I've ever seen, I'm sure it's happened 100% in the dot, but 17 for 17, it's pretty good.
That's really good.
Yeah. Philip Gruber of the Seattle Kraken earned his 20th career shutout in a win over the Blackhawks Thursday night. After scoring 6 points in his last 2 games, Elias Pettersson now has 38 points in his last 35 games. Is it the same thing as like 50-50 with Matthews, or is it actually like the...
And his last 35 games. Not...
I'm just kidding.
So just like Matthews.
Okay. Matthew Joseph of the Ottawa Senators now has 10 points in his last 4 games. Change of scenery's done him well. Yeah, we'll talk about him in the waiver ads as well. But yeah, opportunity is pretty much everything when it comes to fantasy hockey.
Yep.
I'd seen this somewhere else earlier in the week, but yeah, Mitch Marner, 68 points in 38 games since January 1st.
Yep.
Tim Stützle missed Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday games due to a lower body injury. Matt Dumba and Matt Boldy both missed Friday night's game due to injuries. Bruce Matthews in here again?
Yeah, it's in there again. Just a tick off Tyler.
It's working.
Move past
It's
that
working.
Max Pacioretty returned to the lineup for the Vegas Golden Knights on Saturday. Hey, did he score too?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Sammy Girard returned to the lineup for the Colorado Avalanche on Saturday. Drouin out for the season after surgery on his wrist. Kyrou returned to the Blues lineup on Saturday. Dylan Larkin played his 500th career game Saturday night. Capo Caco returned to the Rangers lineup after missing 31 games with a wrist injury. Nico Hischier set a career high in points on Saturday with 53 points. He's been really good lately. I think we talked about him last week, right?
Good replacement
he wasn't
for
the fantasy
Hughes.
hockey thoughts. But yeah, he's been good. Sidney Crosby. I think, John, you're okay talking about this one.
Oh, yeah.
Well, maybe not this one. I was talking about the 1,400 career points, but
That's farther down.
yeah, that's farther down. This point here should consider a boxing career after landing a left hook on Nick Dowd on Saturday. Yeah, I actually just saw that clip earlier, a couple hours ago. What was the backstory there? Did you guys watch that game or kind of see what had happened?
I didn't see what happened before. I just showed the clip just picked up where he landed the hook and Dowd dropped like a sack of potatoes, and
Crosby picks up his stick and skates away.
Yeah, and then the ref's arm goes up, and then the Capitals go down and score, so he doesn't even get sit for a penalty. Doesn't even get called. Doesn't even register as a penalty.
That's crazy. Yeah, and then you made the mention here about Dylan Larkin, and he got a 1-game suspension for that punch earlier in the season.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't comment on the Crosby thing, but Larkin I had no problem with because he got run from behind, right, when he punched whoever that was.
Yeah, and I don't even know if because there was no penalty called on the play or anything, like, because we get farther down. Crosby played today. There was no mention about anything from anybody.
Nope. And he did get his 1,400th career point against. He had a 3-point game, didn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah, he scored the OT winner. I think we can all agree on this podcast. Crosby's fantastic.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
He's been taking some classes from Tom Wilson on how to beat people up.
He's always been a bit scrappy, though.
That's a heck of a hook, though. I think he was standing on his back foot too when he delivered that. So that's a heck of a shot.
He looked pretty comfortable throwing that punch. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, Dowd was probably doing his best Brazilian soccer player impression too. So
I'm sure. Okay, and then we got some notes here. Some NCAA players to keep an eye on. So Owen Power signed his entry-level contract with the Sabres. He could play as soon as Tuesday, according to reports. Bobby Brink signed a 3-year entry-level contract with the Flyers. He was this season's leading scorer in the NCAA and a Hobey Baker finalist. Kent Johnson, 5th overall pick in 2021, signed an ELC with the Blue Jackets. He's expected to join the Blue Jackets on Monday. Dryden McKay, an undrafted goalie from Minnesota State, won the Hobey Baker Award. He can sign with any team. Hey, Edmonton, hint, hint. Well, who did we sign? We just signed a goaltender earlier this week. Do you know who it was, Tyler?
Tyler has no clue what you're talking about.
No, we signed a forward though.
Do you want to? You can just send it over to Bruce. Anyway,
Tyler out here blowing smoke rings.
just checking to make sure he's still awake.
Was he making smoke rings, or was the smoke coming out of his ears? I wasn't sure.
It
Both.
was my ears. I think.
Yeah.
I think.
I don't know. There was a couple good ones in there.
I think Dryden McKay, didn't he commit to going back for another year?
I don't know.
Back to college?
I just saw the Hobie Baker thing and thought that'd be a good ad. So
Yeah. I think I read somewhere that he did commit to going back, but that might not be accurate. I wasn't really paying attention.
Called it.
I mean, great if you can sign him, right? But it's gonna be more of a long-term prospect situation. Like any goaltender we sign for next season has to be a guy who can step in right away and basically be a .915 save percentage or better. If we want to win.
Yeah, I don't.
Why would we want to do that?
Well, we do have two of the best players in the league. So should probably utilize them.
We have
David and
Auston
RNH.
Matthews. Oh wow.
don't worry, Holland will sign Koskinen and Smith through to their 50s. So $1 million a year for each of them.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
And then the last one here is Matty Beignets signed a 3-year entry-level contract with the Seattle Kraken. He was the second overall pick in the 2021 entry draft. And that does it for headlines with the Hacks. So now's probably a good time to tell our listeners about NHLShop.ca, the Fantasy Hockey Hacks podcast, a proud partner of NHLShop.ca, the best source for your officially licensed NHL apparel and merchandise. Follow the links in our show notes or on our website. Save up to 50% on select apparel now and get free shipping on orders over $99. Use promo code NHLFS99 at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details. Full disclosure, Fantasy Hockey Hacks may receive a small commission for your purchase, which helps us to continue providing original content and fuel Tyler's gambling habits. Tyler, how'd it go this week?
Not good. Not good.
More parlays.
I got one. I had one win. It's kind of financing all my other losses, so that's fine. We're good.
There you go. That's
I
fine.
haven't had deposit money since like before Christmas. So,
That's not
a
bad.
couple of parlays. Just got to win a couple parlays. That's it.
That's it. Yeah. There you go. I won like $5 in DFS this week. I played one contest. I think I finished 250th of like 6,000 people or something, so I did okay. But problem is, you have to finish like in the top 10 to actually make some money.
Keep practicing.
I'll keep practicing. Okay, let's. We got a few questions. Again, it's sort of an abbreviated version, but let's move on to Ask the Hacks.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Would you drop Vitek Vanacek for Chris Driedger? I actually already dropped Vitek Vanacek earlier this week. I think at this point, I would rather have a streaming spot than hold on to Vitek Vanacek and deal with the goaltending situation in Washington. But Bruce, what do you think?
I didn't think Vanacek was that bad. Did he lose a couple of games?
He was not good. I think, when I dropped him, he had like 5 games where he was at negative points or close to negative points or not
he
good.
Was giving up. I think he was giving up like on average. I think it was 3.5 goals a game too. So
yeah, it wasn't.
And
good.
then today, of course, he pulls out a win against Boston. So
yeah,
I was gonna say he thought he won today. So
yeah, but I mean, you know what? For me, because now he's still splitting time with Samsonov. So he's splitting time, and then when he does play, it's kind of a little bit shaky. I'd rather, there's some other options out there I'd rather stream, right? Or just have the flexibility to drop an ad.
Yeah, but if it was specifically Vanacek for Driedger, I wouldn't do it. But yeah, if you're opening up a spot to stream other goalies, that's fine. But I wouldn't do it specifically for Driedger feature.
No, and we'll talk about Driedger a bit later. He actually did have a nice run there before they went back to Gruber for a couple games now, but we'll talk about that in a bit. John, Tyler, you guys agree with that assessment on Vanacek?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Only one game next Monday. I'm looking ahead for a streamer Monday, Wednesday. Paul Stastny, Rem Pitlick, or Josh Anderson. Categories include head-to-head, goals, assists, plus minus, shots on goal, power play points, and hits. I said Josh Anderson.
Yeah, that'd be my pick too.
John's not in approval. Okay. Tyler?
Yeah, Josh Anderson.
Okay.
He's researching.
He's actually he's looking for players to pick up right now. He's gotta get ready for playoffs next week. Yeah,
Actually.
Yeah, I know. Every week you guys do this. Next up here, I'd have to sacrifice my streaming spot for Robert Thomas, as I was planning on dropping Vanacek to stream. Worth it.
Yes.
I'll second that. John?
Yeah, I'll agree.
Okay. Tyler, can we pry you away from the ESPN app for a second?
Yep.
Yep. You agree? You pick up Thomas?
No, he's just agreeing to leave the app.
Yeah, both. I would do both.
Both. Okay, good. Keep 3 for next year. Auston Matthews, Victor Hedman, Kyle Connor, Alex Barkov. John, we'll start with you.
Oh, why you got to do that? Man, that's tough. I would drop Connor. I think that's a tough one because all 4 of them are playing fantastic. But yeah, no, I wouldn't want to lose the other 3 more than Connor.
Okay. Tyler?
I keep Matthews, Hedman, and Connor. Goals are worth more
Bruce?
than points.
Yeah. Bruce?
For me, it'd be Matthews, Hedman, and Barkov.
And I would do Matthews, Connor, and Barkov. I've got Connor in 2 leagues this year. And yeah, the Jets are a bit down right now, and he's gone a bit cold, but he's a 40-goal scorer. So the only catch there is what sort of situation is Winnipeg going to be in next year? Like, there's been talk about them blowing it up. I guess that might scare you a little bit, but a guy like Kyle Connor, he's going to score regardless, and he's probably going to be playing with PLD next year, who's been very good. They played together pretty much most of the year. So for me, Matthews, Connor, and Barkov. I think I can, and I don't typically focus on D as much anyway, but
Barkov doesn't get them shifts though.
he has plenty of shifts.
Not as much as Hedman does.
Oh yeah, well, Hedman gets lots of shifts. Really a player you want to target if you're looking for those shifts.
Absolutely.
Okay, so there you go. That's basically 4 different answers. We've totally confused you, but thanks for submitting the question. Hey guys, I'm looking to drop a goalie so I can maximize my roster for next Monday and Wednesday games. Would you drop Wedgwood? Yes. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I got a lot of players sitting because my Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday game rosters are full. Yeah, for me, I just drop Wedgwood. He's getting, they're not even 50-50. It's less than that for Wedgwood. And
yeah, like today was a back-to-back. They played Ottinger back-to-back.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get in at the end of the year. Ottinger's probably going to play every game. So
see you, Wedgwood. Tyler's not picking him up right now on ESPN.
no, I'm dropping him. Dropping his ass.
Like a rock.
Didn't help me today.
All right. That does it for this week's edition of Ask the Hacks. Thank you to everyone that submitted questions. Keep sending them in. We will get you entered into our draw with Left Wing Lock to win a 1-year subscription, free subscription to the Left Wing Lock iPhone app. Now is probably a good time to let our listeners know about DraftKings. John, you want to do the ad read, or should I do this for you?
Oh, I can do that.
All right,
How far
man.
do I got to rate up to again?
You know what? We've changed it a bit, so just you can read up to the call to action, and then I'll just let our listeners know if you do have a gambling problem, i.e. Tyler. Yeah, he's kind of crisis counseling and referral services are available. All the information, the details are going to be in our show notes on our website, fantasyhockeyhacks.com. So feel free to check it out. If you need any of that information, it's there. With that, John, take it away.
Boom. As a member of the Hockey Podcast Network, the Fantasy Hockey Hacks is a proud partner of DraftKings. Hockey fans, feel the action on the ice like never before with DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the NHL. Right now, new customers can bet just $1 on any team to win and get $150 in free bets if they do. If Sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, you can still hit the ice for cold, hard cash. New customers can make their first deposit and play free for thousands with DraftKings Daily Fantasy Hockey Contest. Draft your lineup of 8 skaters and a goalie and rack up points for goals, assists, saves, and more. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Well, this is exciting because everyone's abandoned me, so I guess I'm just taking over the whole show. Oh, Devin's back.
What I missed?
I was going to take over the whole show because everyone else abandoned me.
Yeah, everybody got up and walked away at the same time.
Even Bruce did. This is scary.
Oh, and there he is. He's back. Yeah, that's typically, if I get you to the ad read, I just relieve myself for a few minutes, and then everyone did the same thing.
I was going to say, all of a sudden, I just saw you get up and just run away. At least Tyler's got the dignity to turn his camera off.
Yeah, no, there's no shame over here, buddy. No shame over here. All right, let's move on to Edgework, the segment where we do the work to give you the edge in your fantasy hockey leagues. We're getting down to it. Like I said earlier, fantasy hockey playoffs. We're into the second week. Some of you guys might be along a little further. Anyway, with that, week 26 in the NHL features a total of 53 games on the schedule, with typical light days falling on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. The difference this week is that the light days are actually really light, particularly Monday and Wednesday and Friday, with just 1, 4, and 2 games respectively. If you're looking to optimize your number of games played throughout the week, there are 2 teams that play 3 games on light days, Montreal and Winnipeg. Of those 2 teams, Montreal has the easier schedule, particularly towards the latter part of the week when Winnipeg takes on Florida and Tampa. There are 4 teams, Columbus, Florida, Philadelphia, and the Islanders that play 2 games on light days. Of those teams, obviously, Florida's the one you want to take a look at. The Canucks are the lone team to play just 2 games this week. So if you're rostering fringe fantasy players from those rosters, I'd definitely drop them. What's your guys' take on a player like Thatcher Demko? Like I have him in one league, and he's been really good, and Vancouver's still kind of fighting for a playoff spot. I'm not going to drop Demko. But, Tyler, what's your take on it? If you're a Demko owner with just 2 games, say it's your semifinal next week, or maybe it's your first round of the playoffs, are you going to hold on a Demko?
I would. I mean, he's going to play both games. It's a good chance to win. It also depends on how deep your league is. You could probably stream somebody, but I don't know if that's better than having 2 games of Demko. So I'd keep him.
Okay. What else do we got here? I guess, I should have mentioned here too. They don't have any back-to-back, so Demko he should get 2 starts. And then one last note here on the schedule: Philly has 2 sets of back-to-back games, Washington and the Rangers, as well as 2 games against Buffalo. Expect Martin Jones to see a couple of starts. He could be a nice streaming option as the second game in both back-to-back sets. They fall on light days as well. And Jones in his last 7 games has a 3-4-0 record, a 2.73 goals against average, a 922 save percentage, and a 2.62 goals saved above average. So, Mike, if you're listening, I'm not trying to pump Jones's tires too much, but he might be worth a stream on a second of a back-to-back on a light day. Potentially. I probably still wouldn't do it, but if you're desperate for goaltending, that's an option.
That dude sucks.
Just a really quick recap. Monday, 1 game. Tuesday, 14 games. Wednesday 4, Thursday 12, Friday 2, Saturday 14, and Sunday 6. So lots of action happening on a couple of nights there. Teams with 4 games: Buffalo, Detroit, Minnesota, Montreal, Nashville, the New York Islanders, Philadelphia, San Jose, St. Louis, Toronto, and Winnipeg. If you can get a couple guys from those teams, take advantage of the schedule. Team of interest we want to talk about is the Toronto Maple Leafs. Their strength of schedule for next week, according to Left Wing Lock, is -12. The Leafs have the 7th best points percentage in the NHL over the past 4 weeks, the record of 9-3-2. Their 4.36 goals for per game played is second only to the Edmonton Oilers. Someone adjust the notes here to put 4.69 in bold goals for per game played over that span. So
It's italicized as well, by the way.
thank you for correcting
And it's
that.
blue.
Both teams have been scoring a pile of goals. So there you go. The Toronto power play ranks 3rd at 31.6%, and their possession metrics are very good at 54.3, unblocked shot attempt percentage, which is 5th in the league over that time. Fairly favorable schedule, like I said: Buffalo, Washington, Ottawa, and the Islanders. They've got just one back-to-back set. Could be a nice spot start for Shalgren, like getting a start against Ottawa or New York. The Leafs record this season against upcoming opponents is 6-3-0. Some players to consider: Michael Bunting, Ilya Mikheyev, Jake Muzzin, Mark Giordano, and Eric Shalgren, like I mentioned. Are you changing that back? Who's changed that back? Is that...
Well, I have to change everything that I change in here. I have to change back by the end, because otherwise,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it'll mess up our notes later. But thanks for doing that. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
All right.
Oh, Tyler's gonna get in here now and start changing things.
Oh, he's gonna add a question to the end here. Listener question, I'm sure. Teams with 3 games. Yeah, it's a lot. Most of the league actually now, with the exception of Vancouver. So, but it's in the show notes. Go ahead and read it yourself. I won't go through every. It's, like I said, with the exception of Vancouver, everybody else plays 3 games. The team of interest here is going to be the Calgary Flames. I'm not a fan, guys. I'm just saying. They have a good schedule. According to Left Wing Lock, it's a -26 strength of schedule. It's the easiest of any team for the upcoming week. Calgary takes on 3 teams that are currently out of the playoff picture. Seattle at 5-5-0 in their last 10. Vegas at 7-3-0 in their last 10. And Arizona, who's 2-7-1 in their last 10 games. If that schedule isn't convincing enough, the team's numbers of the past 4 weeks should entice you. They've got 36.3 shots on goal per game, which is 3rd. 57.8 USAT percentage is 3rd. 3.43 goals for per game is 9th, and they're 11th in terms of points percentage, and their power play is just outside the top 10 at 25.7%. Their record against upcoming opponents this week is 5-1-0. I didn't add any players in here for players to consider, but Blake Coleman's a guy you're going to look at. Tyler Toffoli, if he's still available. Andre Mangiapane, who's actually been kind of cold, but I mean, take a look at him. Hanifin actually is a really nice option on defense if you're looking for a D-man. I think he had 3 points yesterday. 3 assists, if I'm not mistaken. So give him a look. And then, of course, Tyler, like you've mentioned 1,000 times, Daniel Vladar. You're pretty much the president of that fan club. Great spot start whenever you get the opportunity. So a couple other teams I want to mention quickly in terms of teams that play 3 times are the New Jersey Devils. Their strength of schedule is -14. They've got matchups with Arizona, Colorado, and Seattle. And then the Washington Capitals, who have a strength of schedule of -16. They got matchups with Philadelphia, Toronto, and Montreal. And then the last team here, like I said, Vancouver plays just twice, but they do have a strength of schedule of -20. They play Vegas and Arizona. There are a few players that could provide some fantasy value. Take a look at a guy like Oliver Ekman Larson, Connor Garland, Tanner Pearson, Vasily Podkolzin, Luke Shen if you're in a Bangers League. And they've actually been given some starts to Halak. That does it for the schedule for Week 26. Let's move on to waiver wire targets. Since you guys are like scouring the waiver wire right now, maybe I'll just let you guys take over this segment and tell me who I should be picking up. I'm kidding. We won't do that. But if you do, if there's someone you want to mention, you let me know. We're going to kick it off here with Jeff Skinner. we've mentioned him lots on the show in the past, but
Usually in bad ways, but
usually in bad ways. But you know what? He keeps producing. He's still only 29% rostered. I put out earlier this week, I think any one of those guys on that top line, whether it's Skinner, Thompson, or Tuck, they all provide fantasy value. And yes, Buffalo got crushed. Was it 5-0 today by Tampa? Yeah, they had a bad schedule this week. It was kind of the Carolina, Tampa, Florida, whoever it was. Next week, I think they play 4 games again. It's not quite as rough. So anyway, Skinner, he hit the 30-goal plateau again for the 5th time in his career. He's on a 5-game point streak, 12 points, 6 goals in his last 10 games played. Possession metrics are actually, he's holding his head above water. 5-on-5 goal differential is +3. The only concern with him is his individual shooting percentage is a touch high, but nothing crazy. And then Alex Tuck, 22% rostered. He's got 33 points in 40 games played this season. 9 points, 2 goals in his last 10 games played. Any objections there?
Nothing.
All right. Bruce, what's on the wire? What's the word? What are you looking at?
What am I looking at?
I'm just bugging you, bro.
I'm looking at why my
Those guys
internet
out here
connection
throwing shade at
sucks so
all of
badly.
us.
What's that, Bruce?
I'm looking to see why my internet connection sucks so badly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're only at 35% uploaded. What's going on, man?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Punch your kids off the internet.
Well, everyone's watching TV and I'm doing the podcast, so that's probably why.
That would do it.
My internet just pulls the Gretzky every day, so 99. No, nothing.
Where's
Nothing.
my cricket button?
Yeah.
What?
We got it,
99.
John.
Come on now.
I got it.
Yeah.
We're good. We're good.
Jeez. I try making a lame joke, and all you guys do is just sit there and.
I really wish I had my cricket button because it would have been funny had I inserted the cricket button when you said it, but now we just sound like hacks. That's okay. Next up here, guys, Jake Debrusk, left wing, right wing, eligible, 24% rostered, 3 games on the schedule for next week. He's been playing with Bergeron and Marchand and on power play too. Basically, since he's played with that line, he's been productive. I did look up some numbers because I know how much you guys love me reading off numbers, but that line with Bergeron, Marchand, and Debrusk, they've been incredible. 65.89 Corsi 4, 66 goal for percentage, 70.29 expected goals for percentage, 68 scoring chances for percentage, and a 72 high danger scoring chance for percentage. So they've been pretty much dominant at 5-on-5. And as long as he maintains that deployment, I think Debrusk is worth rostering. And Tyler, I think you picked him up in one league. I don't know if you held on to him, but
I did. He had a good week. He had a really good week, but I ended up dropping him for next week. But
who'd you grab?
I think he had a goal. I think he had a goal and assist yesterday. I think he was -2 and didn't do anything today, but he did. I think play 21 minutes, so cut those shifts in.
Got those shifts in.
Still didn't.
Who'd you drop him for?
I don't even know. I was picking up and dropping willy-nilly. Just scrambling.
All right. Next up is JG Pajot. 28% rostered. 4 games on the schedule for next week. He's playing with Palmieri and Bailey and on power play 1. Not typically a guy you'd look at and think offensive talent, but if you play in a league that counts hits and faceoffs, he's going to provide some real value for your fantasy roster. 2.14 hits per game and 9.43 faceoff wins per game to date this season. And since March 1st, he's got 18 points, 7 goals, and 22 games played. And just like I said, as an added bonus, they have 4 games on the schedule for next week. So I think if you're in the thick of it in the playoffs, Pajot is actually probably a pretty good option. So Tyler, John, if you're on the app right now, Pajot.
What?
What? No, why? Drink the Kool-Aid, man. Drink the Hacks Kool-Aid.
I don't even have to go on the app anymore because my team sucks.
Oh, right. You're done.
Yeah. Bite me.
And he can't even go golfing because it's snowing outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's brutal.
This is the worst.
What are you going to do with yourself?
Don't answer that.
Yeah, don't ask.
I was just gonna
That
say,
came
not
out
a
wrong.
kid
As I
show.
said it, I wanted to pull it back, but
This is a kid show.
yeah, this is okay. Forget I said anything. Let's move on
We apologize.
to Matthew Joseph, center, left wing, right wing eligible. Bruce, you mentioned him earlier. It's a change of scenery has done him good. He's playing. He's actually been getting some time with Steven Stamkos and Ross Colton, which I was surprised to see Stammer playing with those two guys, but I guess they're trying to just spread out their depth a little bit. In 58 games with the Lightning this season, he managed just 18 points. That's 1.4 points per 60 in 1342 time on ice. In 9 games with the Senators, he's got 11 points. That's 4.3 points per 60 in just under 17 minutes of ice time. And it looks like Batherson was not in the lineup again tonight, so I don't think Joseph's in any immediate danger of losing his spot, although that will change once Batherson comes back. So enjoy it while you can. If he's still playing on that top line, I mean, he's worth the look all day, I think. Did he do anything today? Did anyone else happen to check that?
I'm gonna check that right now.
Okay, you check that. I'm going to move on to our next guy here, Nick Paul. And he's kind of experiencing the opposite of what Joseph was experiencing. He went from a bad team where he's playing a lot to a really good team where he's not playing so much. He does have 5 points, 1 goal in his last 5 games, though. So some good stuff there. Oh, my God. I think I said Joseph was playing with... Never mind. We're going to move on. I screwed that last bit up. Sorry. You should have called me out. I'm going to call myself out. But Joseph's playing in Ottawa, not in Tampa. So I meant to say Nick Paul. But
Man,
anyway, it's
Oh,
been
boy.
a day, man. It's been a day.
you just threw me off because I was just looking at the score of the Lightning game.
Forget it. The correct information is actually in the show notes, so check that out. But
Joseph did nothing. He got a penalty
nice.
and 3 hits
Okay.
and a couple shifts.
Well, we wouldn't live up to our name if we got everything right. So I got to screw up at least once or twice an episode so we live up to our billing.
I don't know. I just feel like a squirrel today.
Oh, yeah. It's a long story. I'll tell you guys after. But anyway, next we got that was our last forward, Nick Paul. Give him a look. Oliver Ekman Larson, 44% rostered. Like I said, they've only got 2 games on the schedule for next week, but with Hughes out of the lineup, he's been productive. And I looked at this, even with Hughes back in the lineup, they still gave Ekman Larson over 40% power play share yesterday. He played over 5 minutes on the power play, so could be worth a stream for next week if you're desperate for a defenseman. Gustav Forzling, 25% rostered, 3 games on the schedule for next week. He's playing on the top pairing with Mackenzie Weegar. He's already doubled his career output in points with 32, and he set a career high in goals at 6. Not a lot, but it is
Career high, man. Dude's just killing it.
He's crushing it. But the 32 points is actually respectable. He's getting exposure to the top 6 in Florida, and he's got 8 points, 5 goals in his last 9 games played, and he's shooting 3.5 shots on goal per game and averaging over 21 minutes of ice time in his last 10 games. So there are actually some good things there, John.
I'll go with it.
All right. And they do have a favorable schedule, Florida, over the next few weeks. One more D-man here. Jake Muzzin, 22% rostered, 4 games on the schedule for this upcoming week. He's getting some power play time. Again, exposure to Toronto's top 6, which, if you ask TSN or Sportsnet, they're pretty good. They score lots of goals. I'm just waiting to see if Tyler's head explodes.
Just shakes.
Just shakes, yeah. He's got one goal in 3 games since his return, but he's averaging over 3 shots on goal per game, 11 hits. Time on ice has been going up. He's averaging 19.5 minutes time on ice. Some nice things about Jake Muzzin there, so I give him a look. The volume's nice, really. At this time of year, 4 games on the schedule. it's going to be slim pickings on the waiver wire. Give him a look. 22% rostered. Next, we'll move on to goaltenders, and we got Mike Smith because, John, I know how much you love Mike Smith. Oh, I think John just left. I think he...
John's out.
Mike is off. Camera's off. He actually just... Yeah, he's out of here. Okay, well...
If I would
Mike
have known
Smith,
it was that
42.
easy, we should have said this a long time ago.
He is checked out.
Oh, he
fast.
comes back. Okay, there
He's
he is.
back. He's back. Mike Smith.
No, I was sitting here the whole time.
Look, Mike Smith's been good. In his last 7, 6-0-1, 2.13 goals against average, 928 save percentage. Like we said earlier, that first sweep in California, that pass to McDavid was incredible. The Oilers have a tough schedule, but the way they've been playing, I'm not as concerned as I would have been in the past about grabbing Mike Smith or Mikko Koskinen. So that's my take on it. John, I know you disagree. Tyler, Bruce, I don't know if you're in agreement or if you're just on the fence, but
Yeah.
yeah. That's kind of what I expected from the two of you. I'm the eternal optimist. John's super pessimistic, and then you guys are somewhere in the middle.
He's what we
Mike
got.
Smith
So
for Vezina.
I probably would have played him against Colorado. I know Koskinen actually played pretty good, but to slow down that forecheck, teams that can, with that much speed, that can forecheck like that, Koskinen is absolutely awful playing the puck. I would have played Mike Smith there. I mean, they still did all right without him, but teams like that can forecheck. Vegas would probably be a good example of that. Those are games that I'd want him in.
Yeah, I agree. They could have maybe played Koskinen against LA and then given Smith the start against Colorado, but yeah. Okay. Next guy up here, Spencer Knight, 54% rostered. I'm going to start by mentioning Sergei Bobrovsky, Tyler, which you know all too well, has been awful in his last 6 starts. 3.93 goals against average, 861 save percentage, and a negative 7.18 goals saved above average. Not good. Those are not good numbers.
No.
And Spencer Knight, he stepped in for at least 2 of the, Bobrovsky got pulled in a couple games. Spencer Knight came in, salvaged a couple wins. In his last 7, he's 6-1-0 with a 2.18 goals against average, a 9.15 save percentage, and a .617 goals saved above average. He was really good on Saturday, 1 goal and 25 shots. I did grab him in our Yahoo League, Bruce, actually. I grabbed Spencer Knight just as a 4th option for when he does get those starts.
he's got a few of them.
Yeah, do you guys are they gonna lean on Spencer Knight anymore, Bruce? Do you think, or is it just they're gonna keep pushing Bob out there?
I think they're probably going to keep pushing Bob out there, but a very short leash. Like this last one here, they probably could have just left Bob in, but they pulled him, they put Knight in, and then they came back and won. So I think they'll continue to trot him out, but yeah, if he struggles, they're not going to hesitate to pull him.
Yeah, I think they're probably actually gonna play Knight a little bit more. They've got basically everything wrapped up. Probably wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to have Bobrovsky watch a little bit. At least I'm hoping for that because I picked up Spencer Knight.
I debated whether I should even include him in the notes. I was like, well, if I say something, but you guys were probably already well aware that he was playing okay. Anton Forsberg, 41% rostered.
Did we talk about him last week?
We may have. I just wanted to mention him again because he's been good. He's posted career best in wins with 17, shutouts with 1. His goals against average at 280 is the best he's seen, and his save percentage at 917 has been very good. Goals saved above average at 8.36. So all good stuff there from Forsberg. The only thing here is, his PK save percentage is high at 914. Prior to yesterday, where he gave up 5 goals, he had given up just 3 or fewer goals in 9 previous starts, posting a 4-4-1 record and a 925 save percentage. So he'd been brilliant before Saturday. there's some risk there in playing a goaltender from Ottawa. I know they're not a real competitive team.
Trash.
But
I think with their schedule too, Boston and Toronto, those don't look like good games to have them in there. But
no, they're risky. But the payoff too is in a game like that, if he does stand on his head, because they did. Was that the one where did he beat Carolina this week? I have to go back and look, but he might face a ton of rubber in those games, against Boston and Toronto if he does, and if he does play well, that's some added points there for you. So it's definitely a risk, but if you're looking for goaltenders, you're looking for starts, he's a guy to take a look at. His numbers have been good.
And you just gotta hope he faces a ton of rubber.
Who is this guy?
He couldn't help himself. He was.
It's a kid's show, Tyler.
It's a kid show. It's a kid show. What would Charlie say?
She'd probably laugh. No clue what's going on.
Good. Let's move on. Last goaltender, last waiver wire ad here, Chris Driedger.
How do you move on from that?
I'm just trying to move on, man. I don't know.
Look,
There's probably not a good way to do it.
He's probably going to face a lot of rubber coming up this week too. Calgary, Winnipeg, New Jersey.
And even Jersey, yeah. 12% rostered. I mean, this is one, again, we talked about it earlier. Are you going to drop Vanacek for Driedger? Probably not. Do I feel great about Driedger? Probably not. But from the 28th of March to April 6th, he started 4 or 5 games for the Kraken, 2-2-0 record, a 1.78 goals against average, a 947 save percentage. He was really good, and then Seattle went back to Gruber for consecutive starts, and Driedger hasn't seen the net again. But he could face Winnipeg, Dallas, and Los Angeles in the second half of back-to-backs over the next several weeks. So there's some opportunities he'll play. Even just as a spot start, he might have some value. Just a guy to keep an eye on. And that does it. Unless you guys came up with anything else you want to share throughout the course of that segment.
Well, a couple things to keep. There's a couple things to keep an eye on. Reports are that one report is Carey Price is traveling with the the Canadians. That'd be something.
That'd be, yeah.
That Price is traveling with the Montreal Canadiens, and with the injury to Jake Allen, there's a greater chance that he could end up playing. They do think he's going to get a couple of games in before the end of the season, so that's something to keep an eye on. And the other one was Mackenzie Blackwood. Sounds like he started skating again, and that he might get a couple of games in before the end of the season, just to show that he's healthy and he can stop the puck, because from what reports are, is they think his time in Jersey is just about done.
Okay. I think the other goalie to be Elvis Merzlikins in Columbus. He plays every game, basically. They do have 3 games next week. I don't even know how many he's started in a row here, but it's basically all of them. Not all wins. He's only got 2 of those, but there's volume there.
He faces a ton of rubber, Tyler, as you'd say.
Devin, I thought we were done with that. You need to grow up. Definitely worth a look, though.
I think he made 47 saves in his most recent win. So same theory applies. Like, Columbus isn't great, so he's going to face a lot of shots, and that equals more points in a lot of leagues. So, yep, good option there. John, anything?
I got nothing.
Bueller. All right. I did, like we did last week. There are, a few extra names at the bottom of the show notes that will be available on the website, fantasyhockeyhacks.com. So go and check those out if you're curious. That does it for another episode, guys. That was actually a lot of fun this week. I got some laughs out of that. You guys are hilarious. You guys are actually fun to be around.
What? Nobody tells me that.
No, I work with you. I know that.
Just looking all miserable in my office.
Ron 2.0.
Oh, you went there. You suck.
Sorry, but I had to. I'm not really. I'm just kidding. Just laughs. Just jokes.
Just jokes. Yeah,
just
okay.
jokes. Just jokes. Okay. Well, that does it. It was fun. For our listeners, if you want more information, like I've said before, check out the website, fantasyhockeyhacks.com. Make sure you send us questions for Ask the Hacks, fantasyhockeyhacks@gmail.com. Reach out to us on social media, on Twitter at FHHacks, on Instagram at fantasyhockeyhacks. And that does it for this week. We'll talk to you guys next Sunday.
Bye, Felicia.
Oh, boy.
Take care.